Hey, what's up? Today is not a Doomspire brick battle video. I've already done that today. Today's video is gonna be some Bloxburg building tips. Coming from someone who built stuff like this. Well, let me just cut to the chase already. So, first tip. Know your keyboard shortcuts. I'm gonna, list them on the screen. So those are very handy to know. Also, highly recommend building on PC, because building on mobile sucks donkey dick. Okay, next point. Roofs. Please, for the love of God, don't make your ceilings institutional white. It doesn't really look that great. Here, let me show you. So I'm gonna... Oh yeah, fun fact, if you're building an actual house, please don't use automatic roofing, because that goes room by room, and it's just not a good look for a whole house. So, let me give you a little example. So, we're going to... I'm gonna undo that roof real quick. So we're gonna build this. This is gonna be like our house here. So with automatic roofing, it does this. You're gonna have a roof that looks like that. That does not look good. So what you're gonna do instead is you're gonna grab your roof, you're gonna press T to have manual placement, and then you're going to... Oh, I placed that wrong. And you're going to place it manually. And for more complicated shapes, it's harder for beginners, but yeah, it's a bad example with the pyramid roof. Let me use a better one, the gable roof, which is my most highly recommended roof to use for most houses. Doesn't that look a lot better than this shit? That looks like ass. The other one at the beginning does not. So, let's see. Institutional white. Let's make that roof institutional white. I'm gonna compare what the roofs look like with institutional white as a ceiling color versus something more practical. I prefer to use light stone gray, quill gray, or pearl. I most often use quill gray though for my ceilings. Oh yeah, don't do this kind of thing. Don't have your walls like this if it's like all like the same like wall and stuff, because it's harder to color. I mean, honestly, if you don't want to like sell a whole wall and you just need to extend it a little bit, do what you gotta do, but I don't recommend doing that. More about that later, but let me put some lights in here. Oh yeah, also make sure to this is another point I should make. When you're putting lights in your house, make sure you like go into the room and toggle your roofs on and see if you can see well in here. It's especially important to check the lighting if you have windows in your house, as that can greatly influence how much light is going into your house. Now, I mean, honestly, this whole color of your ceiling thing, it's not the most crucial tip, because some people just don't know how to differentiate colors, but this ceiling doesn't look too great. It's too bright, especially if you like put a different like color of wall here. And quill gray, lightstone gray, or pearl, it looks a little bit better. It looks less in your face. You see? It looks a little more natural. And I can show you with another one of my houses. So in this house, I'm pretty sure I used quill gray, or was it lightstone gray? I can't remember. But you see, these ceilings look a lot better. They look more natural, more well, less in your face, like rah. And it blends in nicely with the color of the walls. Well, let me switch back to my empty plot to get onto my next point. And I kind of made this point earlier, but I'm going to make it again because it's very, very important. Which is, check the lighting of your house before you continue building. So let me give you a little house as an example. And for 2 of these rooms, we're going to have windows because as mentioned earlier, windows can greatly influence how your room is lit and also the time of day it is. Also, one pro tip, don't make your light bulbs institutional white. It's not a good look. It's blinding. Now we're going to color these walls a lighter color so I can show you another point I want to make. And I don't know if I already said this before, but whatever. The color of your walls also can greatly influence the way that your light looks in your room. Because the lighter your walls, the more, I guess, light is going to bounce off of them? I don't know how to explain it. But just pro tip, the lighter color your walls are, the darker color you should make your lights. So, I mean, it's not the best example here since it's like 8 p.m. in the game, but you see, this room, it looks very dim because the walls are dark, there's no windows, and it's nighttime. But then you go in here, this room looks a little, it's not that noticeable, but it looks a little bit more well lit because the walls are lighter. I mean, obviously it is still the same time in the game. I don't see other Bloxburg YouTubers use cheat codes to change the time of day, but I don't know how to do that. And with this room, it's not that noticeable, but the lighting's a little bit different because there's a window. It would be much better in the daytime for me to show you, but see, this room's a little more well lit because again, there's a window and the walls are lightly colored. So, yeah. You're over here like, Saturn, if I shouldn't use institutional white for my lights, what colors should I use? Well, some of the best colors to use for your lights, depending on what aesthetic you want to go for, is pearl, quill gray, ghost gray, maybe lightstone gray, maybe fossil if you want a more dimly lit room, khaki, cashmere, seashell if you want a more like, I guess, blush aesthetic? Is that what they call it? But then again, also custom colors, highly, highly recommend you get that because that is a huge lifesaver for me when it comes to making lights. I mean, honestly, in general, institutional white is going to be used very, very little when you're building. Use wall trims, please. So, wall trims they look very good with your house. They make it look a little more natural. So let me give you some examples. Oh yeah, also pro tip, if you're making a house with 2 stories, I recommend knowing how to use manual flooring because you're going to have to use it in the place where your stairs are because, well, when you use automatic flooring, it doesn't take that into account and then you can't go up the stairs. Now, one of these is going to not have the baseboards and the other one will. So all you really need is a flat baseboard and a flat crown molding. Those are the ones that I most often use, and I mean, shit, dude, look at my houses, they're amazing. So let's go in here. How does this look? it looks pretty damn nice. Compared to this. It looks weird. Choppy, even. You're like, I'm literally inside of a box with a wooden floor and a ceiling. But in here, it feels more natural, because most houses have baseboards. Okay, now, here's another tip. And this is textures. Textures, they're hard. They are very hard. And especially for like roofs and stuff. So I'm going to show you some of the best textures to use when it comes to roofs, floors, and stuff. I don't recommend using textures for like the walls and stuff. Because it's just not that fun. I just don't like using textures on the walls. But for floors are definitely something you should use textures for, and roofs. You never ever want to forget to use textures on floors and roofs. So, I'd say like the best colors to use, like the best textures to use for floors are definitely the wood and carpets and marble. And there are some wood textures that you just shouldn't use for floors. You see, wood grain, it's sort of okay for floors depending on what your house looks like. Wood planks, definitely recommend. And herringbone wood, that's not the best for floors. There's different things that are good for floors. So for wood floors, I recommend wood planks, maybe wood grain, depending on your situation. Not the best though. And polished vertical wood planks can look good too. And horizontal ones, obviously. And definitely horizontal planks is also a nice one, depending on what your house is. I mean, honestly, just anything that has like visible planks is good for wood floors. Now, carpets, there's only really one texture for that, which is classic carpet. Now, for marble floors, bigger rooms, I recommend using diagonal bordered marble, but for smaller rooms, I recommend using just marble. Now, use marble for like kitchens, bathrooms, and hallways. Carpets, obviously, just for bedrooms, maybe living rooms. And wood floors are like for kitchens, living rooms, hallways, and stuff, yeah. And tiles, they're hard to pick. But I say some good types of tiles are small rounded tiles, acoustical ceiling tiles, sometimes, depending on what room you're making. Sometimes large mosaic tiles. Tiles are just hard to pick in general. But I mean, honestly, for bathrooms, small rounded tiles are your best bet, and for like kitchens and other rooms that you'd want to put tiles in, acoustical ceiling tiles and large mosaic tiles are your best bet. But now for roofs. But actually, I forgot to mention this earlier, I think only interior walls should like not have a texture. Exterior walls need to have texture, and I just highly recommend using bricks. The best textures for walls on the exterior are bricks, maybe marble bricks, maybe large bricks too. Gratless bricks is a little bit iffy. You can also use stone lines. Honestly, that's all my recommendations for that. I mean, maybe logs if you're making a cabin. Other than that, bricks are your best bet. Now, I highly recommend using the gable roof if you're making normal houses, because, well, it's the standard roof that you normally see on people's houses. So for roofs, I more so recommend using like these neutral looking colors. I normally use black, smoky gray, or oyster, depending on the aesthetic of the house. But some good roof textures are symmetrical bricks, gratless bricks. Those ones are more for like darker colors though. See, those ones only really look that good with. Oh yeah, also rough stone bricks looks good. Honestly, symmetrical bricks a little bit iffy, but you can also use a regular stone. I mean, sometimes concrete can look good with like the lighter colors. And I mean, honestly, for like roofs and exterior walls, like brick and stone textures are good. And for floors, planks and tiles and marble are good. But yeah, and here's to my next tip. Wall colors. Well, this is for interior. Now, exterior walls, I'll throw it out there now. Mostly whites and mostly like whites would be your best bet when it comes to like just normal houses, but like for cabins, obviously use like browns and stuff. But you do what you want. Don't make it neon green, because you're gonna blind yourself. For the interior walls, I'm gonna tell you some colors to avoid, because most of the colors here are okay, but there are some you need to avoid. Definitely the neon colors, because who the fuck paints their wall this green? Why? Institutional white, a big no-no. If you want to have white walls, use pearl, lightstone gray, quill gray, or ghost gray. Completely black walls, that's no. If you want to have like quote black walls, use darkstone gray or smoky gray if you want to have your walls painted black in your house. And these like super dark walls, they're hard to pull off. Like having maroon walls or having forest green or maroon walls, it's hard to pull off. I mean, you could do it, it's just hard to pull off. Now, my top favorite colors to use for walls, for lighter aesthetic houses, I say seashell, light reddish violet sometimes. Sometimes you can use light orange, khaki, sage green, beige, sometimes, depends. Sometimes you can use brick yellow, cadet blue, I really like that one. Oh yeah, definitely oyster. I love using the color oyster on my walls. But for like darker colored walls, I like sand green. Well, artichoke is more like light color, but I like to use sand green, slime green, hurricane gray. I mean, hurricane gray is more like a light color, whatever. Flint, darkstone gray, and smoky gray. You know, there are a lot of colors on here that are good for walls, and some of them that are bad. Some colors on here are just bad in general. Yeah, so that's for wall colors. I'm going to throw out a really quick tip here. Always, like, when you, like, get done with, like, a certain, like, I guess, section of building, like, I don't know, when you, like, ran out of money or something, go inside of your house and check, like, the lighting to see if it's good. Check to see if you have the baseboards properly placed, the walls are all properly colored, and, you know, just check inside of your house to see if everything looks good. Because you never know when you accidentally forget to place a baseboard somewhere and you're like, no, my house looks like ass. And, which leads me to my next point. Before you start a big building project, I know this seems like it's gonna be overkill, but it's not, I promise you. Get a piece of paper and a pencil and draw blueprints. I do this every time I do a big build. And please don't use pen, because you're gonna fuck it up at some point. Because every time I've written blueprints, I've overestimated or underestimated the size of rooms, and I had to edit it a little bit. So yeah, but having that general plan in place, it's a good idea. Next point, windows. Depending on the size of your house, you might need more windows. I don't know why my shutters are doing that, but depending on the size of your house, you might need more windows. But you need to place them carefully. Because if you don't place them carefully, you might end up having to freaking place a window in the bathroom. Which is not the most comfortable feeling. So don't place them too close to each other like I did right here. But don't place them too far away either, because that makes your walls look bland. Just everything in moderation. But also, make sure you put some shutters or curtains or blinds on your windows, so that, especially if you have some bathroom windows, so you can close the shutters and keep the creepos out. Next thing, solar panels. If your bills are over $1,000, you need solar panels. But if your bills aren't like $5,000 and above, you don't need the $20,000 solar panels. See, my bills are like $1,466, well, because of this solar panel. So make sure you put your solar panels in a place where you can easily get to them, so you can show the status of them. And after you play the game for a while, your solar panels, they can get dirty, and you actually do have to clean them. And if you don't clean them, they're not going to be as effective. But also, yeah, yes, you can stack the benefits of a solar panel. So like if you have multiple $5,000 solar panels, they can give you more benefits. However, it can only go up to 20% reduction on your bills. So even if you have like 20,000 solar panels, it's only going to go up to 20%. So don't waste your money. Next point. Always have a light box in your house. Well, like, put it in the basement, put it in your cleaning closet, in your garage, anywhere. Make sure you have a light box. Reason why is because if you forget to pay your bills and you get your lights shut off, and then you gotta pay, and then you pay your bills and then your lights power come back on, your lights don't automatically turn themselves on. And you do not want to sit there flipping every single individual light switch. You need a light box. And while we're at it, just a general Bloxburg tip. Make sure that in your family permissions, unless you like really trust this person, don't allow them to use the light box. See, you can go into permissions and have use power boxes toggled off so that they can't use them and they can't start playing pranks on you. And next point. You need to put this little border doohickey around your pools. It just does not look good without it. Your pool does not look good without this little border thingy. So please, put this here. This little stone thing. This little other stone thing. If you're feeling a little fancy, but like just put this little border around it so it doesn't just look like a little hole in the ground with water in it. Next point. Balconies. Put lights on the roof of your balcony, or else it's going to be dark in there. You don't like that. We don't like dark under the balconies. Because we're afraid of the dark. We're little children. We're playing Bloxburg, for fuck's sake. Oh yeah, also I kind of recommend making the bottom of the balcony like the same color as your ceiling, because that just looks better in my opinion. But make sure on any plot you have, no matter what you have this plot made for, make sure you have a place for you to replenish your moods. If it's like a school or something like I have here, if it's a school, you can have like a secret like corridor, house doohickey for you in like your principal's office or something like I just entered here. Secret doors are your best friend for that. Doesn't have to be the most extravagant thing ever. Make sure you have a place to replenish your moods, because no matter what your house looks like, your moods are gonna fucking run out, buddy. And, well, when you're, like, in the middle of building something and you're, like, not done, make sure you have a mood station in, like, at the edge of your plot so you can, like, replenish your moods and stuff. Because you get paid more at your job if you have better, more like, heightened moods, I guess? Well, like, if your moods are better, you're getting paid more. Well, like, having these moods right here will pay you more than if all my moods were at 0. So, yeah, make sure you have somewhere where you can replenish your moods. So, summary. Know your keyboard shortcuts. Don't use institutional white for pretty much anything, honestly. Institutional white should be rarely used. Use manual roofing and manual flooring when you use multiple floors. Don't make your ceiling institutional white. Don't make your lights institutional white. Make sure to check your house so that it's not too bright or too dark. Check it in different lighting conditions. Check it when you have windows. Adjust the color of your light fixtures to the color of your walls and how many windows you have. Use wall trims, flat crown molding, and flat baseboard should be just fine for you. Brick and stone textures for exterior walls and roofs, and wood planks, carpets, and tiles textures for the floors. And interior walls, don't use textures for them, but like just use like more lighter, like muted colors for them. Don't use neon colors. I mean, honestly, it all depends on your aesthetic, but don't ever use neon colors. Please don't. And make sure, like, every now and then you exit build mode and go inside your house to check for any errors. Draw up blueprints for your builds beforehand. Make adjustments as needed, obviously. Don't put too many windows or too little windows. Space them out to the point where it looks good. Use curtains, blinds, shutters, whatever. Use solar panels when you have expensive bills. Make sure you can actually get to them. And make sure to clean them, because apparently you have to do that. Put a light box in your house. Put a border around your pools. Put lights underneath your balcony. Make sure you have a mood station when you have like a little like business plot, if you will. Or like if you're not finished with the build, you need to have a mood station so you can not like die. I mean, I know technically fainting isn't in the game anymore, but you still want to have your moods up. You don't want to be staking up the whole house. And also, get some game passes and work in like 10, 15, 20-minute intervals. Don't work for like 2 hours because that's just going to bore you out. So yeah, this video definitely could have been shorter, but I don't know how to explain things. So you're going to deal with a very long video. Anyway, that's it. That's all. Yay, you made it through. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe for more. Yada yada. Bye-bye.